With the AFL Draft coming up, I thought it'd be a good time to give you the top 10 best AFL Draft bargains in history. This ranges from pick 43 all the way to pick 117. So this top 10 is based on draft value, so where they get picked up, and then the accolades for what they achieved throughout their whole career. Now, there are some that we won't include, things like father-son pick, people like Gary Ablett, Matthew Scarlett, Tom Hawkins, Jack Viney, just to name a few that were pretty low bargain, but didn't put them in. Any academy picks, so Harris Andrews, I think he was in pick 61, I believe. He's not in there. Or Isaac Heaney for Sydney, he's not in there. Or any circumstances just like Adelaide Crows' Taylor Walker, who was a pick 75 in the 2007 National Draft, but because he was signed on a New South Wales scholarship, given he was from Broken Hill, which meant he was guaranteed to go to Adelaide Crows anyway. So I haven't included him on this list either. Anyway, let's get on to the video. So we start at number 10. We have got Brian Lake, who was pick 71 in the 2001 draft that went to the Western Bulldogs. Originally named as Brian Harris, he was picked up by the Bulldogs and played 197 games for the Bulldogs until he was traded to Hawthorn, where he won 3 premierships and a Norm Smith medal in 2013. He is a 2-time All-Australian. He also won a Charlie Sutton medal, which is the Western Bulldogs best and fairest, back in 2007. He became a very reliable defender, especially for Hawthorn, but definitely at the Western Bulldogs when he was there too. Definitely an amazing pick, a pick 71. He was just a great pick for the Bulldogs, but then was traded to Hawthorn. He was even better there. So it worked out really well for both sides for a pick 71. Number 9, we got West Coast midfielder Dean Kemp, who was picked up at pick 117 in the 1989 draft. 2-time premiership player in 1992 and 1994, Norm Smith medalist in 1994, and was in the All-Australian side in 1992. A very good midfielder, very tough midfielder, knew how to win the footy, played 243 games for the Eagles. Pick 117, I think this is quite an amazing value, and they got a really good player out of it. He was a co-captain in 2001, but he did retire then due to concussion issues he had throughout the whole career. But nevertheless, he had a good career at West Coast, and they would have been very happy with what they got for pick 117. Definitely one of the best bargains you'd probably get. Number 8, we had Port Adelaide's Robbie Gray. He was a pick 55 in the 2006 National Draft. Geez, wasn't he a classy player, Robbie Gray? Played 271 games, kicked 367 goals for the Power. He was a 3-time John Carroll medalist, so that's their best and fairest, so he won 3 best and fairest. He was their leading goal kicker twice in 2011 and 2018. He was the coach's player of the season in 2014. And he won 5 showdown medals, which is quite impressive. I think it's a record. And he's a 4-time All-Australian. Got to remember as well, he actually did his knee, I think, back in 2012. And whether he'd come back to some form, well, it turns out he actually got even better. Just become an absolute superstar. An amazing forward mid. Was just really the peak of his powers in the mid-2000s. Just an absolute dominant player. For pick 55, they did so well with that Port Adelaide. At number 7, we've got Geelong defender Corey Enright, who was picked up at pick 47 in the 1999 draft. Now, he would go on to be one of the best pack pocketers in AFL history. There's no doubt about it. The nickname Boris, obviously a man who didn't really talk too much, but he let his football do the talking, and you could see with these accolades, 6-time All-Australian. He was a 2-time Cardi Greens medalist, so best and fairest, so 2-time BNF winner, and a 3-time premiership player, 2007, 2009, and 2011. Just an ever-reliable defender. Knew how to find the footy. He was so good at finding the footy, but also just a very good negating defender at the same time. You could definitely rely on him doing a job. And played 332 games as well. Just a great steal for the Cats, getting him at pick 47, and what an absolute champion of a player he was. And as I said, just one of the best back pocketers in all time, I would say. And was pivotal for the free flags that he was involved for Geelong. Very important member, and how lucky they were to get him at pick 47. Number 6, we have Western Bulldogs' Chris Grant, who was picked at number 105 in the 1988 draft. And look how good he became. He was a 2-time Charlie Sutton medal. As I said, he's a best and fairest winner in 94 and 96, a 3-time All-Australian, and he became the Bulldogs captain between 2000 and 2004, and obviously inducted now into the Australian Football Hall of Fame, and unluckily did not win the 1997 Brownlow medal, as he actually polled the most votes that year, but due to suspension, he missed out, and Robert Harvey was the Brownlow medalist. So if he didn't actually get suspended, I would say he's a Brownlow medalist in that too. For a pick that hits 3 digits, 105, and for what he did, 341 games and kicked 554 goals too. He was just an absolute champion player, either playing a full forward or playing at centre-half back. Just amazing draft value from the Bulldogs, getting him at pick 105, and look how he turned out. Just a great player for him. And number 5, I had North Melbourne's Brent Harvey. He was picked 47 in the 1995 draft. Now, he currently, at this moment of the video, he is the current AFL games record holder with 432 games, and he's kicked 518 goals. For pick 47, to be able to get that is a start. But there's more to it. He was a 5-time Sid Barker medalist. So this is the best and fairest for North Melbourne. So 5-time best and fairest. 4-time All-Australian. And he was a premiership player in 1999. He was a captain for the club as well. Just an absolute great player for North Melbourne. Just dangerous small forward. Became a midfielder like later in his career. Just a great player all the way through from when he debuted back in 1996 and retired in 2016. So he played pretty much 20 years. It's quite a long time. And for a pick 47, that is just mighty impressive. And North Melbourne, they got every bit out of him in that pick. Just fantastic. Might have been a bit unlucky not being higher on this list, but number 5 is still pretty good. Great value for North Melbourne. At number 4, we've got Brisbane's Lachie Neale, who was picked up at pick 58 in the 2011 draft to Fremantle at this point. Geez, with pick 58, how good has he become? So he's a 2-time Dog medalist. So that's the Fremantle Best and Fairest back in 2016 and 2018. And then when he obviously got traded to Brisbane, he just got even better. He's a 2-time Brownlow medalist in 2020 and 2023. He is a 2-time premiership player, 2-time premiership captain, might I add on that. And then along with that, he is a 4-time All-Australian. And then AFLPA Lee Matthews Trophy in 2020. And an AFLCH Champion Player of the Year as well. The list goes on. He has just been just an absolute star. He was good at Fremantle, but he got even better at Brisbane. Now, the only reason why he probably isn't a bit higher is that I'm more thinking he got drafted at Fremantle, and then somehow, if he kept going and had these accolades just being at one club, would that have changed? Possibly. But geez, you got to have him up high when you're a 2-time Brownlow medalist. He just defined how good he was at pick 58. And I think that was a bit because given his height and didn't have a lot of speed as a midfielder, but he shows that you don't need that to be a superstar of the comp. He was just a hard midfielder who knew how to win the footy, can kick goals too. He was just a star player, and he still is to this day. Who knows what he could achieve a bit more? I know he's going to be 33 in 2026. Let's see what he can do if he actually does any more accolades. He could potentially go high up this list, but we've got him at 4th spot. Pick 58. Fremantle did well, not so well of trading him. Number 3, we have Collingwood's Dane Swan, who was picked 58 in the 2001 draft. Jeez, this guy at one point was just a dominant force in the competition. I did say similar to Robbie Gray, he was so good in the mid-2010s. But geez, Dane Swan in the late 2000s, geez, no one could stop him at one point. He would just dominate and rack up 30 to 40 possessions a game. No one could get anywhere near him at one point. 5-time All-Australian. He was a Brownlow medalist in 2011. Probably unlucky not to win more than one Brownlow. He's a premiership player in 2010. Won the Lee Matthews Trophy in 2010. The AFLCA Champion Player of the Year in 2010 as well. 2-time Anzac medalist. 4 times he was the AFL disposal leader in 2009, 2010, 2011, 2013. And the list goes on, and recently was in the Hall of Fame in 2024. Jeez, wasn't he just a great player? Very explosive midfielder, as I said. Knew how to win the footy. And as I said, at his best, no one could really compete with him. Played 258 games and kicked 211 goals. Don't know what else I could really say about him. Just pick 58. That was definitely up there as one of the biggest bargains you'd probably get. To be able to get a Brownlow medalist at pick 58, and I said the same about Lachie Neale, he's a 2-time Brownlow medalist, but you get that, and then a 5-time All-Australian, and just arguably is just one of the best players in the AFL at that period. Just a great pick by Collingwood. They did so well with that. At number 2, we had Sydney's Adam Goodes, who was picked 43 in the 1997 draft. Geez, what a career this guy had. He played 372 games, kicked 464 goals, practically played in every position throughout his whole career. Could go forward, could go back, dominant midfielder. It was an All-Australian ruckman at one point too. 2-time Brownlow medalist in 2003 and 2006. 2-time premiership player. 3-time Bob Skilton medalist, which is the Sydney BNF. So 3-time best and fairest. 4-time All-Australian. 3-time Sydney leading goal kicker in 2009, 2010 and 2011. And he was the rising star in 1999. He's in the Indigenous Team of the Century. The list goes on. He was just a dominant player as well. Like in the mid-2000s, when he won the Brownlow in 06, playing as a midfielder, he was just sometimes untaggable. Like given his height, given he could win the footy, and he was just somewhat unstoppable himself at one point. Just a great player at 191 centimetres. pick 43. Like, you can't really go wrong. Sydney just picked an almighty player, really. An absolute draft bargain. It was a great pick by them. And look what they got out of him. They got a couple of premierships, a couple of Brownlows out of him. What more could you want? At number 2 for this list, he was just unbelievable. And now number 1, the biggest draft steal, or biggest draft bargain, if you like to call it, in history. We go to the 1990 National Draft. At a pick 79, Essendon select James Hird. It didn't actually start well for her when he got drafted because due to some hip injuries he had in 1991, he didn't actually play a game and they were actually considering delisting him. But coach Kevin Sheedy was like, I wanted to keep him. He made his debut in 1992 and the rest is history. He is a Brownlow medalist in 1996, a 5-time All-Australian, 5-time Essendon Best and Fairest winner. He was 2-time Essendon leading goal kicker in 95 and 96. He was their captain in 98 to 2005. He's in Essendon's team of the century. He's a 2-time premiership player in 93 and 2000. Premiership captain. And he won the Norm Smith in 2000, a 3-time Anzac medalist. The list goes on really here. Crazy. And he's also in the Australian Football Hall of Fame. Probably one of the best Essendon players of all time. Just a gun forward and a gun midfielder too. Like, at his best, he was just an amazing player. Just a good goal kicker, knew how to win the footy, knew how to win a game of his own boot, was just one of the ultimate X factors you could have. Just an absolute champion of a player. And he was just so good. And the pick that he got, pick 79, and all the accolades I just read out, I just think he had to be the biggest draft steal or bargain in history. Just given what he has done for Essendon and for the AFL in the matter with his achievements, and the fact that he did it pretty much at pick 79, which normally these days, pick 79, that's normally right at the end of the draft. You don't really get an amazing player out of that. So it's just so rare to see it. And Essendon found a way to get a Hall of Famer at pick 79. It's just so impressive. And you got to thank Kevin Sheedy. You know, if he delisted him, we wouldn't have found out how good. And look what happened. He really guided them to these 2 flags as well. And as I said, one of Brownlow. You can't go wrong with it. The biggest draft steal or bargain in history goes to James Hird. So let me know what you think of this top 10. Do you agree with this or do you disagree? Is the order incorrect? Is there players that I missed? And let's be honest, between you and me, there are some I probably have missed. So feel free to comment them down below. I probably will agree with some of yours because there's so many good players that didn't make this top 10 that definitely should have deserved to be in this video as well. So please comment down below. I'd love to see what you say. I think it'd be great. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, subscribe if you are new to this channel. And if you want to see another top 10 video, I did one regarding the worst trades in AFL history. So if you click this video over here, you can have a look at that. Hope you enjoy.